Hello everyone and welcome back to Sudden Wealth. I hope you guys are doing very well. I am basically now in a different location for my holidays, as I've mentioned. The setup is it's going to be like this until October, so I apologize, but there's nothing I can do. I wanted to give a quick update on the markets. So please don't forget to drop that like and subscribe. As you guys know, that helps greatly the channel. Basically, I think where we stand today is we are a little bit overextended to the upside. We basically recovered almost the entire drop in stemming from the Japanese issue. The Dow Jones closed the record high yesterday. Guess who is not surprised? You and me. I've been talking about it extensively. I'm actually quite curious to see what Harry Dent and his friends are going to say over the upcoming weeks. Bitcoin has even approached 64, almost 65,000, and now it has retraced back a little bit to 62.5. These things are important also for the overall stock market. You don't want the market to run too much too quickly. You want also some time periods where you have some sell-off, you have some sideways movement, which is what I'm expecting. I'm not expecting we just to jump dramatically higher from here. I am expecting basically some sideways consolidation in the stock market for the next couple of weeks to gain some energy before we move up. Don't forget that if indeed there's a rate cut, which is what I expect, it should be buy the rumor, sell the news event. So what you're seeing right now is the exact pricing of that rate cut, which means that when it happens, you should have some sort of a sell-off. How much and how long will depend on how quickly the market resumes pricing further rate cuts, which are necessary. And in my view, they are too late, or they are very late. They should have been sooner. And of course, we are then approaching the issue with the debt we are issuing mostly in the US, 1, 2, 3, and 4 year. We need then to refinance those at lower rates once they happen. Tulsi Gabbard also endorsed Trump. She was also running in the Democratic primaries in 2020. So you do see a big flight away from the censorship of the Democrats. You see that also in Europe. For those of you who are not paying that much attention over here, you can see that in the UK. So basically, people are getting arrested for retweeting posts, not for committing crimes. So the people committing the crimes, they are fine. Nobody's trying to find them. Nobody's going after them. But if you retweet a post that is deemed hate speech, and it can be a post such as, I think we should have borders in the country. I mean, this used to be a fairly, non-controversial position, even by the Democrats back in the 70s and 80s, and even as early as the early 2000s. But apparently saying something like this is now considered hate. No, I think we should know who comes into any country, right? And the people in that country should be able to decide if they want a lot, not so much. So just to be clear, I'm an immigrant in a different country, okay? So I'm completely in favor of immigration. But for people to do what I did, to go through a process, through a legal process, checks and boundaries, make sure that I'm not a guy with a terrible record, make sure that I'm actually here to contribute and not try to rig the system in my favor, all these kind of things. So I want people to go through the process that I went through. See what I mean? So don't confuse this with, oh my God, this guy is completely anti. No, I'm not anti anything. I'm actually very much in favor of migration. But it's to me, it's shocking that you are arresting people for retweeting posts in the UK, but then people actually engaging in crimes, they can walk freely. This to me subverts everything And this is just the example of things that I've discussed here. You guys may remember I used to talk about this on Sundays about that the best places to live in the world are cyclical. Usually these cycles tend to last 250 years, and let's call the beginning of the last cycle in 1776 with the American independence. So 250 years is about now. And usually what happens is a place in the globe that used to be very good starts to decay by itself. So it's usually not invasions or anything like that. It's just they start to, like the Roman Empire, etc. They start to decay by themselves. They don't need any help. They do it alone. And I think it's fair to say, and this goes into what I believed, that I thought that the Southeast Asia and certain countries in the Middle East, like Qatar, Saudi, the UAE, Oman, Bahrain, I think those countries will be, over the next hundreds of years, probably the best place to live in the world. Places like Singapore, Vietnam, Thailand, and the likes. Now, to be clear, this doesn't mean that a country or a region is extremely good in year, for example, 2000, and then 2001, the country is all collapsed. And no, I mean, you have examples like this, like Argentina. Argentina in 2001, 2002 is still a very good country. And then by 2006 or something, it's completely destroyed. But I'm not talking to those extreme cases. What I'm trying to say is that the change is gradual and it's moving in a certain direction. And the question you need to ask yourselves is very simple. Is Europe, US, Australia, South Korea, New Zealand, UK, are they better or worse, generally speaking, than 2015, for example, than 2006, than 2018, 19, right? If your answer is, yeah, it's actually a bit worse, I think in the case of France, for example, it's completely obvious, but let's just look into your own life and make that assessment. If your answer is, hey, actually things are getting a bit worse in general, I mean, technology is a bit better, but apart from that, everything is worse, then that's the answer. The shift is undergoing, and it will take some time to happen. It's not automatic. But you can see the writing on the wall, and then it's up to you to decide what to do with that information. Now, when it comes, so in summary, going back to the market, sorry for the little tangent, I think we're going to see some sideways movement, some consolidation. Potentially, the S&P should also see new all-time highs. We should start moving into that direction, but I wouldn't expect us just to go up 10% out of nowhere from here. As I've mentioned before, as long as the rates keep coming down, the Russell is the index that benefits the most because it's the one filled with the equivalent of shit coins in the stock market, okay? When it comes to crypto, we had a nice bounce and a nice recovery. We are approaching now the old all-time highs, 65. I do think we will stay here for a while, and I'll give you, by the way, a little bit of insights in my predictions. If you guys remember, a few weeks ago, I said, look, I think Bitcoin will be above 80K by the second half of September. And then I changed my prediction to by the end of November. And the reason when I was talking about second half of September, but I told you that it was like a soft thing in the sense that if I was right, I would take, no credit for it. It's because my TA is telling me new all-time highs by 20 something of September, 22, 23, 24, around that level, okay? But at the same time, I'm also conscious of the escalating situation in the Middle East. I'm also conscious that there's going to be a rate cut, and that's a buy the rumor, sell the news. And I'm also conscious that September tends to be a terrible month for crypto. So that's why I said, look, I really don't feel comfortable with this second half of September. Let's make it until the end of November. Now, you need to understand that most channels still think, or we're still thinking, that we're going to see Bitcoin 40K again and stuff like that. So, I mean, So you have a good idea that I actually went a little bit against the grain. But that's the what I'm trying to do here is, look, yeah, I mean, my charts are telling me second half of September, particularly in the 23, 24, 25, around those days. But I can also not, I can't be blind to what's going on in the market. Now, does this matter? In the sense that let's say it happens by the end of November, we have Bitcoin 85K, something like that. And I can say, hey, I was right about it. Does it make a big difference? No. Why not? Because that is things that I like to predict, like to pass a little bit of time, you see? And also, I think at the end of the day, it helps building a little bit of credibility in the sense that you see that I'm much more often right than wrong. But to me, it's very simple. The key skill, the key difficult part is to sit down, sitting on your hands and thinking 2025, 2025, 2025, and looking for top signals when we get there. That's the difficult part. It's basically, okay, I'm seeing this huge tree in front of me, but I'm gonna walk 5 miles backwards so I can really see the whole forest. That's the key. That's the most difficult thing to do. And this is what I'm always trying to do. So let's say that instead of the second half of November, let's say it's the second half of October. Or let's say it's the first half of December. Did it change anything in terms of my targets? No. 2025 is still the way. 2025 is still what I'm looking for. Looking at that liquidity, which is starting to explode. By the way, this is something interesting to mention. The liquidity in the markets is starting to really explode, and the pricing is still yet to catch up. And then things can move very, very quickly. Hopi was 15 million market cap a week or 9 days ago. It's now 31 million. This happened in 2 days. Sideways, 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 sell-off, consolidation, correction, sideways, sideways, sideways. Boom, double in price. Then people, oh my God, I'm going to go to Hopi. Once again, the example of my lottery tickets, right? Oh, by the way, I'm going to make a video disclosing all my coins again, the ones that I have right now, the ones that I had, the ones that I sold, which one did well, which one did bad. I'm going to disclose all of it. And as you guys know, I always say, what is my cost average, what is my entry price, etc. I always disclose it. But I will make a recap because it's been a while since I've done it and somebody asked me to do it in the comment section. So this video, I won't cover it, but I will cover it in the next one, okay? And once again, Andy Hopi, for example. What is the key? Well, has there been a strong correction in those coins? Yes. Hopi hit 80 million. It's now at around 30 million. It went as low as 15 million. Andy went to 320 million and went as low as 50 million and is now at 75 million. What is the key? The key is, do I think Pepe will do very well? Yes, I do. Okay, that's number one. Number two, do I think Ethereum is performing very well? No. Ethereum, it's in its third cycle curse, is basically shitting the bed, which means that when Ethereum really pumps, then everything in the Ethereum ecosystem will pump, which means coins like this will also pump. Coins which are bonded by liquidity with Ethereum, they will also pump. Okay, so step number two. So let's summarize, okay? Step number one, do I think Pepe will do well? Yes. Step number two, do I think Ethereum will do well and it's still underperforming? Yes, okay, that means it's cheap, in my view. Not financial advice, this is how I think. If you think completely opposite, happy for you, I wish you the best of luck. Then, what are Andy and Hopi? They are leverage plays on Pepe. Okay, clear. Are their holders going up? Still yes, particularly with Hopi. Are there Telegram users going up? Hopi, yes. Andy, they are still way up, but they've decreased a little bit. They've decreased about 1,500 in the last month or month and a half, which is normal. Because I know that if Andy goes to 150 million, then we cross the 20K followers on Telegram immediately. So that's the point. As long as these things keep on being true, I feel confident about it. Now, can I say for sure that they're going to go to a billion market cap or 500 million? Of course, I cannot say for sure. Nobody can say for sure. It's a matter of tilting the playing field, tilting the game into your favor. Not about certainty. If you want certainty, I don't know, go try bonds or whatever. But even that is not certain, right? Because the currency loses a lot of value, so you're also losing on that side. So keep that in mind. If you want certainties, look, there are very few things which are certain in this world. So you need to make your judgment on that. By the way, this is an example of how the world is. The Telegram CEO was arrested, the Russian billionaire. In France, basically, the Russian embassy is being forbidden from seeing him, which is actually illegal. This is what I read. I didn't make an in-depth analysis on this, so I will say allegedly, but please, correct me if I'm wrong. And because he refused to censor his platform. And this is an example of how the world is. So you're now getting arrested for refusing to censor. And now evidence apparently has popped up that Zuckerberg on Facebook was doing the Democrat bidding and censoring things in his platform. So will he go to jail for violating the First Amendment? I get the feeling no. This is the problem. This is what people are fighting for. This is why certain things are so crucial and to take a stand. I am a bit more pragmatic, which is get that financial freedom within the next 12 to 18 months, and then choose a jurisdiction that actually lives through some of these principles. That's the best I can do for me and my family. All the rest, I can analyze it, I can share my views, but ultimately, can I change it? No. So I need to do what I can. I will disclose what I can. I will highlight when I see these garbage things happening, like with the Telegram CEO and the situation with Zuckerberg, but it's the most I can do. With that, guys, thank you very much for your support. Please drop that like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.